one, we're live.
Right now. Yeah.
It's Wednesday. Let's get wacky. Tejano Norteño, we talk to them all. Su servidor, el bomb. Bomba Gómez. Su compa Eddie, el producer. And now it's time for Bumpa's Wacky Wednesday.
Pinners, San Antonio's premier men's clothing store. From suits to casual wear and accessories to our authentic Guayaberas, Pinners is known not only for our outstanding quality, but for our free expert custom tailoring to ensure you get the perfect fit every time. The experience of being fitted at Pinners is one of a kind. Come see why Pinners has been our customers for 100 years. Located downtown on West Commerce with convenient free parking. Pinners, family owned since 1916.
Here's this week's Wacky Wednesday Classic.
Emborracho hasta que lloro, porque quiero estar contigo, y a mis ojos no me aguantan lo que tú me haces penar.
And that was a Wacky Wednesday Classic. Remember that one?
Orale! I'm Little Joe, and you are watching Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. I mean, wacky!
Just like castles and kings, birds of a feather, two robins in spring. Let's go steady. You are my first love. We like the same things that makes living sweet. Lovers like movies. Two balcony seats. Let's go steady. You are my first love. Oh, please listen to me. Someday we will be side by side.
Wacky Wednesday.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
So good to be back.
unfiltered, the real deal. No pre-planning, no chingaderas. Straight up from the Ville.
Wacky Wednesday.
B-Town's very own.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Here's your host, Bumper Gomez.
There you go.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, from the new beer depot right here in San Antonio, Texas. Make some noise. That's what I'm talking about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here kicking off the second week of Tejano Explosion 2026. God decided to give us a little rain here in San Antonio, so it's kind of thrown the schedule off a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, the skies are starting to clear. Starting tomorrow, Tejano Explosion downtown is going to be on and popping. That's a place for you to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for everybody here that walked in tonight to the new beer depot, they got themselves one free general admission ticket for them to use whatever night to their choosing. Big shout out to Chente Barrera and all his staff of Tejano Explosion for making that happen and allowing Bumper's Wacky Wednesday to be the kickoff party both week one and week 2, man. Again, thank you guys. I want to thank the owners of the New Beer Depot for allowing us to be here. Beautiful, beautiful stage. It looks super, super awesome. And I'm happy. I'm excited. We got DJ Bad Boy Al, Bad Boy Josh on the 1s and 2s, just like if they were downtown. And of course, the best producer, Mr. Eddie Hernandez, making it happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you were expecting, and I want to throw it out there right away. We were expecting one more guest, and due to some unforeseen circumstances.
He said he was busy. No circumstances. He said he had other plans.
How many of y'all know Gibby Velasquez? Y'all know Gibby Velasquez? Hell yeah. Well, if you don't know, you're going to get to know a little bit about Gibby tonight. He doesn't hold anything back. He lets you know how it is. I might say something a little lightly, and he'll come right behind me and slam the book.
Okay.
All right. So tonight's show is a tribute to a band that started right here in San Antonio. How many of you guys remember listening to the ones, the only, the Royal Jesters? So we decided to do a little something, a little throwback to remember the Royal Jesters, what they stood for, who they were, and man, if you go back and research these guys have a crazy, crazy story, and I'm hoping we get to touch a little bit on that tonight with these two Grammy Award-winning legends that I have next to me. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this evening, standing in for the Royal Jesters, so to say, the one, the only, Mr. Joe Posada. And next to him, a man that needs no introduction, Mr. Gibby Velasquez. I like the crowd here, man. Air conditioning makes y'all feel better than being outside, man. So, gentlemen, for me, again, I say this a lot, but I truly mean it. It is an honor and privilege to be on the same stage with two Grammy Award-winning Latino, Mexicano, Chicano artists as yourselves that have been doing this for a long time. And you got a lot of fans here. I got to walk around before we started earlier. A lot of people drove a long way to come and see you guys. They knew you guys were going to be here. And I want to give those guys a big round of applause for coming out here tonight. So, Joe, I got to spend some time with you not too long ago. We were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, right, Gibby? Gulf of Mexico. Not Gulf of America.
Gulf of Mexico, you're correct.
Okay,
that is correct.
Right. So we were in the Gulf of Mexico. We so happened to be on the Tejanos in Paradise cruise, and saludos to everybody from the Tejanos in Paradise cruise. And let me tell you guys, Joe Posada. How many of you guys have ever seen Joe Posada live? Well, I'm going to tell you, This guy knows what he's doing. Like, he came out from the back. The band was waiting for him on stage. He walks through with the saxophone. And I know for a man it's going to sound kind of funny, but it's the most sexiest shit you've ever seen, man. Right? Guy walking through a crowd with a saxophone. It's nice. It's cool, man. So, Joe, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, it's good to be here, man. Thank you so much for the invite. I want to thank Mr. Chente Barrera and, of course, the owners of the new Beer Depot. Thank you very much for having us, first of all, yeah. And, it's good to be here, man. And we had a blast. We had a blast at the Tejanos in Paradise cruise.
For sure. Did you lose or you won?
I think I broke even.
You broke even?
No, you hardly ever win, man. Once in a while, you get lucky.
Every now and then. Gib, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
All is well, thank God. Keeping busy doing whatever it is I do. But thank you for having us here tonight. A shout out to all of our out-of-towners that came down to check this out, man. Yeah. Before we really get started, Bumper, let's be transparent here. Everybody's waiting for the band to play. And that was plan A. So plan B is we're here. Stanley, our bass player, right? Yeah. He's got some health issues and he wasn't able to make it. And like I said, David, at the end of the day, he had another commitment, so he wasn't able to make it out. We had thought of doing something on our own, but if it gets too jazzy, we'll scare people away. But there's plenty to talk about with Royal Jesters and whatnot.
No, for sure, man.
Both me and Joe played with them for, a couple of years, right? Yeah, yes. So
in the 80s, Gib?
I was in the 70s, man.
70s.
Both of y'all were in the 70s.
Yeah. We were there in the same little window of time there, 75, give or take a year. So
I got you.
I was just out of high school. We were both out of high school, yeah.
Yeah, we used to play at this club. Gilbert used to pick me up in his dad's pickup truck, and we used to go do some gigs at the club Chances Are by the old, what was that base out there?
Billy Mitchell Village.
Billy Mitchell Village, yeah.
Out there by Kelly.
Yeah.
So y'all were, what, about 17, 18 years old?
No, I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. And he was already playing. But that's where I met Joe, and we became good buddies. We lived down the street, so I used to pick him up and whatnot. But we can get to that later. But I don't know, where do you want to start with whole thing here, man?
So the Royal Jesters, for people that didn't know, this is something I think San Antonio sleeps on. I think Henry Peña, Pepsi Peña, he does a great job of remembering all these bands that came from right here in San Antonio, man. The very first Chicano doo-wop of all time were the Royal Jesters.
Yeah, they started out as as a vocal group. There was no band.
No band. It was just doo-wop.
A couple of guys singing.
We were arguing. I said 1957. He said about 1958.
They told me 58. I mean, those guys. They graduated in 57, but they got the ball rolling around 58. That's what Henry told me. He was the owner of the band. Him and Oscar were real tight. They went to school at Lanier.
Yeah. Do we have anybody here that went to Lanier High School?
There you go, man.
Hey, y'all are not loud, bro. You're supposed to be like, hell yeah. Okay, we got a few. We got a few. How about Jefferson?
Yeah.
In the back, I knew there was going to be. There's always one from Jeff. Jump out of it. Fox Tech in the house. Okay, Mr. Rick Valderrama.
Yeah, Rick.
How about Churchill High School? Oh, come on. Sam Houston? No.
Sam Houston. What's the other ones? Southside?
There we go.
Yeah?
So sure.
Harlingdale. Hey, they get rowdy at Harlingdale, boy. So let's go back to 1950s. And, for Chicanos here in the United States, I mean, it was a tough time. You know what I mean? It was a tough time. It was a different time that we're living in today. And for these Chicanos to come out of the west side of San Antonio. And
they talk about the San Antonio sound, the West Side sound. Those are the guys that kind of planted that flag there, man. And
they're the stamp of the West Side sound.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, these guys, again, they started as a doo-wop. That means, for people that don't know doo-wop, like, they absolutely have no instruments. All the background music is voices, right? It's either sounds,
It's all harmony.
voices, harmonies. There you go.
it's all
That's the
harmony.
word. Harmonies. And they were able to do that for a long time, man. I mean, when we think of Chicano doo-wop, you think of like, I think a more popular one, of course, is Los Dinos, right? Mr. Abraham Quintanilla, back in the day, Los Dinos, they were around, that time. But again, this was after the Royal Jesters. You know what I'm saying?
They like I said, they were one of the first, if not, they were one of the first groups to venture out into that style.
So gentlemen, let me ask you. You go back to let's just say we're into 1960, right? We're into 1960. How does Chicanos, I mean, if you hear these guys if you hear a song from them, an English old school song, you would never in a million years know that these guys were Chicanos from the west side of San Antonio. There's no accent. There's no, like, the music. I mean, you thought they were African American. That's, I mean, if I didn't know who they were, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah, well, they definitely had that vibe. They were doing their own thing, and they were doing a lot of high school dances at that time. And they were doing the St. Francis, Ursuline Academy, a lot of weddings.
At that time, the music scene in San Antonio was a whole different animal than what it is today. Social clubs and like that was very popular back then.
Social clubs.
And back then, when people would have weddings and debuts, there was a very popular band that played around the area.
And so, and if you were to have them at your wedding or your quinta, that was something big, right?
They were the top band, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's
awesome.
And
they had this regular spot that they used to perform at, which was the Patio Andaluz on Buena Vista and what is that, Commerce?
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to.
Buena Vista in Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado. Patio Andaluz. That was their regular hang. I remember as a kid, I tried to get in and they threw me out because I was underage. But I would always kind of crawl through the wall. There was a stucco wall that they had behind the band. And we used to climb up there and just check out the guys, because
y'all would stay up there and watch.
Oh yeah, man! Until the security got a hold of us and threw us out. But yeah, it was they were really something big, something special. When they came and played in your neighborhood at your church for a festival, I mean the whole barrio was there. Yeah.
I like to stop and think about that, right? Like to stop and think about the whole barrio would shut down. They would support whatever the church festival, whatever. It would be hasta, what we would say. There would be so many people there. But then again, we lived in the world without cell phones, right? Without social media. That was our social media.
Well, you would see posters all over the neighborhood, and of course they were announced at the church and stuff. I mean, they would even close down the streets, the two streets. Like if they played at say Immaculate Conception, they would close Merida and Hazel. They would just close the streets completely.
Because there'd be that many people out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole barrio would come out.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So, in the 1960s, again, this is for both of you. They started adding. They started adding instruments.
Well, eventually they got a small band together, and that was the 60s, right? So fast forward to the late 60s, okay? Chicago, those bands came around. They were very popular with the horns and whatnot. And they started recording. They have some records. I don't know if you have them. They were very popular in the late 60s up until the 70s with another incarnation of the band, the three singers. But the band was they had a very tight band. They were very good. They were going to go nationwide, but circumstances happened and that didn't work for them. But they had a great album with a hit called That Girl. That was 68, 69, somewhere around there.
That Girl, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they had this guitar player, Al Garcia.
Al Garcia, yes.
Al Garcia, who was a songwriter, and he wrote some big hits for him, super. Some of those songs went nationwide.
Yeah.
So would you both gentlemen say that here in San Antonio, in that time, there was I mean, not just them. There was a lot of bands that came.
Well, everybody wanted to be them. So all these other bands started coming around trying to emulate what those guys were doing, man.
And would they make their rounds to Califas, to the Southwest?
At that time, those guys, they were strictly a local phenomenon, man. They didn't venture out.
Some of the bands that were coming up were like Rudy T and the Reno Bops.
Yeah.
And Rudy was one of the first guys that was actually going out of state. They would go to Florida. They would go to Colorado. They would go to Chicago. I mean, they were one of the first ones. I think Rudy was on the road before Sonny. And then right after that, Sonny started going on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, of course, everybody know. Do we have any Sonny Osuna fans here? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I love Sonny. Sonny was one of my dad's favorite musicians, you know what I mean? And a guy that you could see here regularly around San Antonio, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Were the Royal Jesters like that too? Were those guys just a normal, everyday guys that would go about their life? They just say they were the Royal Jesters.
Very much so, but you know, I as a kid, you know, I was starstruck with these guys. I said, man, I want to do that, man. And look how life happens.
You ended up being in that band.
Yeah. So fast forward to the 70s, right? They're still playing around town with this band they had. But then here's the big Arab oil embargo. What year was that?
The what?
Arab oil embargo.
1979?
1972, somewhere on there. Yeah, so people were hurting for money. They weren't paying the bands. These guys had to downsize. The band started to split up. That had a lot to do with the music scene here in town.
So did you guys hear that? I think that happens now.
Well,
I
yes.
think it happens to now. Now it's in the Tejano industry.
Yes.
You got 6 or 7 or 8 people in a band. Well, they all got to get paid, right? They all got to get paid. If there's only 4 of y'all, pues, you make a little more money, you know?
Well, at that time, in order for the band to survive, that's when they switched to the Chicano kind of onda that they're doing. Before that, they did strictly, you know, top 40 R&B kind of stuff.
Right.
But when the band disbanded, more or less around that time, they got together with Manny Guerra, and he became the 5th Beatle there, and he resurrected the band. They got a whole other lineup, and they recorded So Chicano. That was the first album for them in this onda.
So, Joe Gibby, the Royal Jesters, you would say that those guys they started in English and they eventually evolved into singing Spanish.
Yeah, well, they always sang Spanish, but
they
were not known as a Chicano band.
They always used to throw their boleros and all, you know, a few cumbias and stuff, because they did weddings and stuff also.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to, you know, musicians here will agree that if you want to survive, especially in San Antonio, you got to diversify. You got to play a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So they did already play some Spanish, but they made the transformation to recording Spanish music through Manny Guerra.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came along. Once they started doing that, they recorded an album, and they were recording a second album, and that's when the band kind of they changed personnel, and that's when I got in. And shortly after that, they needed another vocalist because the guy they had left. There's more history there. And they said, you know anybody that can do it? Yeah, this guy I was playing with in a band over here. And that's this guy. So he got in there as the third vocalist. Anyway, that was 75.
Well, with me, they got a double whammy because they wound up with an extra horn player and vocalist.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Joe.
There's a little conflict there, because if you ask David Mares, he always tells me, yeah, I got you into the Royal Jesters. And Gilbert here, he says, I got you in. So
he's not here to defend himself.
I know, right?
We used to play at that Chances Are club, me and Joe, and those guys would come in, because the club was over till 2, they'd come in and hang out.
Yeah.
But the Mares never hung out with us.
Yeah, no, they used to get it. Him and Joe Jama used to come by all the time. Little Henry, they would do a wedding and they would get off at midnight, and we were playing till 2 o'clock in the morning back then. So they would come after their weddings and, you know, party, and we got to meet him and we used to hang out with him.
Right.
And stuff, so yeah.
So Joe, did you play the saxophone? I'm going to ask y'all one more time just to wake everybody. Do we have any Joe Posada fans in Beer Depot tonight?
All right.
So I've always wanted to ask you this, and shit, you're right next to me tonight. I'm going to ask you. What do you rather do? You rather sing or you rather play the sax? I think I know the answer, but I just want to ask you.
Well, you know, it's kind of a 50-50 thing, you know, because sometimes I'll do a gig where all I do is play the sax, and I kind of miss singing a little bit. And then there's gigs where I have to sing more than play the sax. So when I get to do a little bit of both, to me, it's like, I've got that, my equilibrium is happening,
I got you. So when you started as a musician, did you come in as a vocalist, or you came in playing the sax?
No, I came in playing the sax. But as you start playing with bands, hey, they need for somebody to do some harmony and all that. So I could hear some of the harmonies already. So I would start jumping in and, hey, well, sing one. So after a while, hey, sing a song. And people would start clapping. I get two people at the, in the back, they would clap for me. So, I said, well, maybe try singing a few songs.
Yeah.
So they start featuring me a little bit at a time. But I started off doing background vocal.
So I want to go back to something, and this I read, Gibby. I don't know how far you want to go into it, but the Royal Jesters, those guys, they were some scrappers. They used to get down like James Brown, if you know what I mean. Like I read stories where they're jamming, and next thing you know, over here there's two people fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you brought up
me
one.
personally, I never witnessed any of that stuff, but I also heard.
So your answer is I joined after all that.
I'm sorry?
Your answer is you joined after all that mess.
No. I heard stories myself, but.
So I was going to ask you. I read a story where and help me out with the vocalist names. They got into a literal fist fight, and the one who lost just got up and said, "All right, man, I'm out. I'm gone."
I don't know. I never heard that story. Where'd you hear that?
I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
As I was doing some of my research, that was one of the stories
really?
That I have. Another one was Joe Jama, right? Joe Jama said that he got invited, or he was gonna play, and as he was walking in, the guy they fired was walking out, and told him, "Hey, bro, those guys aren't gonna take care of you." You know what I mean? Again, it's in the same article, right? Wow. I gotta show it to you. It's pretty good. It's got a lot of great information on there. Speaking of the Royal Jesters, speaking of music, right? Do we have any Tejano music fans in the house? All right. Well, here in Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, we like to do different segments to keep people who watch the show who maybe don't have a station that they listen to. Maybe this is the only way they get their Tejano news or music, which, thank you so much. If I'm the only person that you listen to, thank you. But there's, different outlets you guys can listen to. But here on Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, we do a little segment called What's Bumper Bumpin'? You with me, Joe? What's Bumper Bumpin'? All right. So What's Bumper Bumpin' is a few songs that me and Eddie kind of put together. We talk about it. We put them in a little mix, and we play them for the world to hear. Right? So maybe you haven't heard it on the radio. Maybe you have. Now you get to see who they are. And this is this week's What's Bumper Bumping.
It's time to check out What's Bumper Bumping.
Me estoy haciendo daño, ya lo sé. Lo único que queda es tu recuerdo. Y si te olvido ya no tendré nada, ni una razón ni esperanza. Me estoy haciendo daño y está bien. Me alimento de esas memorias, aunque tú ya escribiste tu final. En mi versión quizás regresarás. Pasa el tiempo y yo atrapado en el ayer, aún sabiendo que nunca vas a volver.
What's Bumper Bumping?
Una noche serena y oscura, cuando juramos amarnos los dos, cuando en silencio nos dimos un beso y de testigo pusimos a Dios. Las estrellas, el sol.
What's Bumper Bumping?
Anímate, acércate conmigo, no pienses mal, no quiero obligarte solamente lo dedico para ti. No tengas miedo de mi amor, eres mi única ilusión. Quiero que sientas el calor de mi amor.
And that is this week's What's Bumper Bumping.
Hey, I wasn't ready.
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah.
I wasn't ready, man. Hell yeah. What did you guys think about What's Bumper Bumping this week? That's what I'm talking about, man. Speaking of Michael Salgado, we're going to be with Michael Salgado, Cinco de Mayo. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not Cinco de Mayo weekend. That's not the 3rd, the 4th, the 2nd. We're talking Tuesday night, the actual Cinco de Mayo. We're going to be at Cowboys Dance Hall with none other than Mr. Michael Salgado, and of course, the beautiful and the lovely Miss Alicia Villar is going to be there as well. Yeah, Alicia Villar is going to be there.
Where's this at?
It's going to be at Cowboys Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo.
Ah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Are you going to be there?
We will be there. We will be there walking around, talking to everybody. Again, man, what a beautiful crowd right here at the Beer Depot. You guys make some noise for yourselves. Beautiful, beautiful bar here in San Antonio. Hey, would you call it downtown San Antonio? Would you call this downtown or south side?
This is inner city.
Inner city. Hi! That's the word? Inner city, Gib?
Or the hood, right? This is the hood. Right? Yeah.
I told you, he doesn't hold back, man. He doesn't hold back. We're here with Joe Posada. If you just joined us late, Mr. Gibby Velasquez, both Grammy Award winners, and we're talking Royal Jesters, a band, a Chicano band from right here in San Antonio that was just, they were phenomenal. They were phenomenal, and they were able to evolve from a doo-wop band from the late 50s through the 60s. They started adding instruments. By the 70s, they were jamming. They were jamming all over the place. And then they ran into a guy by the name of Mr. Manny Guerra, right?
Yeah, he turned them into a Chicano band.
A Chicano band. Now, Gibby, you say Chicano band, and I think a lot of people who watch the show, we don't ever really talk history. And I'm glad I have both you here.
I know where you're going with that. Chicano, Tejano, right?
See? It's like he's been on my show before or something.
So it was called Chicano music. You still call it Chicano music?
Yeah.
But listen, and this is the God's honest truth. In 1980, they created an award show. They couldn't call it the Chicano Awards because our friend in Corpus already had that name. So they were looking for a name of this awards. And they said, well, we're from Texas. We'll call it the Tejano Awards. And so the media jumped on that, and they started calling it Tejano music. That's why they call it. But up till then, it was always Chicano music.
It was always Chicano music.
So because of that show, it turned to Tejano music.
Because of the Tejano Music Awards?
Yes.
Wow. How many of you guys knew that?
Rudy,
all right, you learn something new every day.
Gibby Escobedo, Rudy Trevino, those were the guys, the founders.
Rudy Trevino, right?
Yeah.
Rudy Trevino, he's an amazing guy, man. I'm going to get to talk on his, they're celebrating him this year at the end of the year at the University of Kingsville.
Yeah, but there's another Rudy Trevino. That's the guy in
you're
Corpus.
talking about, okay. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, this is Rudy Trevino.
Another Rudy Trevino.
Yeah, Rudy was a teacher at Lanier High School, and he also got involved with Gilbert Escobedo, and they started that award show, and they started calling it the Tejano Music Award Show.
So that was back in 1980.
That was in 80.
So there had been a couple of years where it was still, hey, that's Chicano music. No, that's the new Tejano music. No, that's Chicano music. Do you think it was cut and dry, like from one day to the next?
No, it was, well, what were you in 1980?
1980,
well, what I'm saying, it was a gradual changeover. It wasn't overnight, but that award show was so popular at that time that they called it Tejano music. It didn't happen in a day.
And how did the artists, you guys were artists and in popular bands, how did the artists feel about the name change?
Well, we had no say-so. They had the award show, and it gradually started evolving into Tejano, and they started writing all this, the Tejano thing, into the history books also. So like now, if you read about Texas history, they talk about Tejanos. They don't talk about Chicanos.
I don't think the art is mine, as long as they're making money. I mean, what the heck? Hey, you know what? Here's something crazy here. There's a show called Hacks on HBO Max. I don't know if anybody watched it. So I started binge watching this show. It's about this person, blah, 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 blah. They wanted to win a Grammy. I said, okay, let me see this. And she said, she was a millionaire kind of lady. She was going to write a book, and she said, if I write a book, I can get a Grammy as, written, blah, 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 blah. But for whatever reason on the show, they said she couldn't do that. So dig this. She says, well, I'm going to win in the Mexican Regional Tejano category. I said, wow, man, they should check it out, man. So the next scene, I don't know if anybody's even seen this. It's just so stupid. She's in the studio with a banda, and the caption says, band playing lively Tejano music. And it's a banda. Yeah. She said, hey, somebody call these guys. Anyway, don't get me going.
I mean, I do want to get you going. It's always awesome. And I have Joe
but
here
you
too.
get it, right?
It's awesome. No, I get it, Gib. And I think, the Royal Jesters, not to veer from the Royal Jesters, but they were able to capture that. They were able to be who they were. You know what I mean? Again, growing up in the 80s, the 90s, really, I got to party in the 90s. I'm in that age group, right? I never in a million years would have thought that the Royal Jesters, again, hearing their music, were Chicanos or Mexicanos. I thought they were just some old school, African Americans that were jamming to some awesome music. Until I did, learned a little bit more. Then man, these dudes are Chicanos. And the reason I brought up California, the other day is because we had La 45 last week on the show. Shout out to La 45. And they play a lot in Califas. I lived a good portion of my life in California, in Southern California. And I told people last week, in Cali, there's no Tejano music, right? In California, it's Mexico. Like, it's regional Mexican music. That's it. There's really, so the Chicanos in California, they gravitate to music like the Royal Jesters, the oldies, right? And there's a lot of groups that came from Southern California that were Chicanos that made it big in R&B. You know what I mean? And I think it goes, it's not noticed enough, right? It's not talked about enough how much Chicanos have done in that genre. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they've done a lot in that old school, and we call it old school. I mean, back in the day it was just R&B, right? Now we call it old school. But they did a lot, man. There were some big people that came out of.
Well, there was a lot of Hispanics that were recording, and in order for them to make it, they had to change their names, and that's why they didn't get some of the recognition till after the fact. If they made it big, well, then they'd start using their own surnames.
So that goes back to the movie La Bamba, right? Richie Valens, Ricardo Valenzuela, right? They changed it to Richie Valens. I see it. I mean, again,
that would happen
all the
time. That would happen all the time.
That's awesome, man. Again, living in California, I got to see life a little bit different, like a fly on the wall, and seeing how different our cultures are, California and Texas, and but they love Sonny Osuna. They love the Royal Jesters. They love that. They're Tejanos. You know what I mean? When you gonna tell me that's a Tejano, be like, chale, homie. Like that's old school, right? Yeah, he's from San Antonio. He's Tejano, right? Again, the Royal Jesters, I know you guys said they were based here out of San Antonio. They did very well here in San Antonio. But I think eventually, do you think that they, with time, when Manny Guerra got them and changed them into, more of the Chicano sound, did they grow even more than what they were just being here?
Yeah, like I said, they were very much like a local phenomenon when they were doing. But once they got into the Chicano music, Tejano, whatever you want, yeah, that's when they got more popular. In the Southwest, up Chicago, that area, Kansas, we did.
Yeah.
New Mexico, Colorado.
Yeah, they started touring more, and people that lived outside of the San Antonio area started experiencing the Royal Jesters.
So this is for both of you guys, and you guys can answer in whichever way you guys want. Let's go back to the 70s, man, with the Royal Jesters. How did Joe Golly, he said the 70s, they get all riled up in here. You go back to the 70s. How did Joe Posada and Gibby Velasquez, I know Gibby takes credit for bringing Joe Posada into the band, but take us back. We'll start with you, Gibby. We'll make it easy. Start with you. How were you introduced, or how were you brought into the Royal Jesters?
How did I what?
How did you come into the Royal Jesters?
Well, we were playing in that club there, and David's brother, he was the bar back there, and he told me, hey, those guys need a guitar player, man. Maybe you go check it out. And I was like, yeah, all right. I don't want to. He said, he encouraged me to go over there and to go do like an audition. Yeah. But I mean, they took me up right away, and that's where I started with those guys. But it was Henry and Oscar who were asking me about, we need somebody else. Maris wasn't even part of that conversation. And I told him about this guy, man. He can cut the gig, man. And so they told Maris, and that's where, he got it later on. But I gave him your number. So that was, I was 19 years old. I remember my first rehearsal, it was my birthday, and we were rehearsing, and they were asking, how old are you? I said, well, today's my birthday, I'm 19. So they used to call me a rookie because I was the new kid on the block, man. Right. And that's where that whole thing started, man.
Rookies.
Yeah.
And Joe, once you got brought on, okay, before you answer, Gib, who was the first person you told that you became a member of the Royal Jesters?
My mom, I guess, I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean, I'm just going back. I mean, you said you used to sneak in, you guys would sneak in to see a band, and I'm trying to take it back to where, now you're part of something that you guys grew up jamming to, man.
When I was in a middle school, kind of, sort of, yeah. I was 13, 14, and they were the popular band. If there was a debut when they were playing, you had to go because those guys were playing. Or they play at the church festival, dance, whatever. Yeah, that was the band.
Nice.
I used to go to Holy Cross High School, and they'd have their dances. And, when that band was playing, it was always a packed house.
Yeah, were you a good kid in high school, man?
Of course. What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you?
Hey, Joe, what about you, man? Let's take you back to when you entered the Royal Jesters, man. How did you feel? Who did you tell? I mean, it had to have been huge for you, man.
Well, for about a month there, I was kind of floating on cloud 9, and I really, I had to pinch myself because I really didn't believe it at first, but been going through the rehearsals and all that, and I said, well, see what happens, and then once I was in the band, everything just started flowing and moving real fast. And of course, I told all my relatives and stuff, and mom and dad and all that, but everything happened so fast. Once I was in, they were very structured. They had a place or different places where they would rehearse, and it was 8 to 5. We would arrive at 9 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We would arrive, everybody would take their lunch, we would take a lunch break, and we'd leave at 4 or 5 o'clock. They were very structured. We had our rehearsals, and we had run-throughs. We'd learn the songs. The horn section would be rehearsing on one side of the building. The vocalists would be rehearsing.
That's some serious work.
Hey, we used to rehearse right here up the street, Nogalitos.
Yeah, the old Tesoro Ballroom.
Do you remember that place?
No.
It's right up the street here.
Yeah, Nogalitos, yeah, that's right.
Gib, you're trying to drag me into your age group, man.
I'm sorry, what?
You keep trying to drag me into your age group.
What are you trying to say? I thought we're the same age, right?
We are the same. That's why we're ahead.
That's all good.
That's why we're ahead.
But yeah, they were very structured. They were very structured and very disciplined.
Do Gibby, and you, because you're in the studio all the time, not that you're not, Joe, but you're in the studio, you got different bands. Do you think today's bands take the same approach and the same work ethic that you guys had when you were with the Royal Jesters? An honest question.
Today is a whole different ball game, man.
Get a guy over there, he's like, no way.
Back then you had to play in tune and on time. And now with the computers and whatnot, not that there's anything wrong with that, but nowadays people tend to lean more on the technology, I mean,
technology will fix it.
Yeah, they'll fix it, And back then, those recordings, yeah, you hear them. There was nobody out of tune. They played in tune. end like that, you know.
And
Yeah,
go ahead, Coach.
There was a different sense of pride with the old school musicians when we were growing up. Everybody wanted to be good at what they did, and we would look up to bands like the Latin Breed and stuff. And sometimes we would tour with them, and we would sit there in awe listening to these guys play, and they would sit there and check us out, you know. And we became real good friends with them. But what I'm trying to say is that everybody wanted to be good at what they did, and they took a lot of pride in it.
And I can see that because I think in everything, that's not just music. I think just life back then, a lot of people just took more pride in the smaller things that we take for granted. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking the lives that we live now, right? I love them, but you know, you just go back to like the way that people dressed back then, right? Like you wouldn't leave the house if you weren't ironed out, you know, creased out, you weren't leaving the house. Now you go to HEB, there's people in pajamas.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Who wears pajamas to HEB here? Don't lie. Raise your hand. Ain't nobody gonna raise their hand.
Chente? No.
Chente, you wear? Oh, look, we got one right here. She wears her night clothes to HEB, right?
There they go.
We got another.
You got some people in the corner. They were okay.
But no, you're right. That's you know, I think times have changed. And the reason I asked you, Gib, because you're around, you know, you see different bands all the time that come in here and want to record. I would probably agree with you without even asking you that question. I knew the answer, right? That bands probably just took a little more pride in what they did. Not that they don't take pride in it now, but technology helps out quite a bit.
Maybe it's a generational, right? There's a whole other generation of musicians today, and thank God we're still doing whatever it is we do. We're still doing this, you know, and kind of still assimilating with another generation, man.
For sure, man, for sure. Speaking of generations, speaking of Tejano music, we brought up his name. I got him confused. It was the Rudy Trevino I was talking about. Was from Channel 3 News, right, from the Domingo Live, from Corpus Christi. But he's actually born and raised right down the street from me.
Oh yeah.
In Beeville, Texas. A lot of people know he's from Beeville, Texas, but of course he resides in Corpus now, and he's teaching in Kingsville. We have teamed up with Rudy Trevino and the Tejano Gold Countdown, Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, and we like to bring you guys the top 3 songs in La Onda Tejana, and this is this week's Tejano Gold Countdown.
Hey, this is Rudy Trevino from Tejano Gold Countdown, and you're watching Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, and these are your top 3 songs of the week.
3.
Traté de olvidarte, pero estás tan dentro de mí que para sacarte tendría que morir.
2.
Si pudieras un minuto estar en mí y sentir la llama ardiente que me quema de pasión por ti. Es que no puedo mentirle al corazón.
1.
Quiero volver contigo, perdóname, amor mío, sin tu amor no vivo, tengo frío cada noche que no estás. Tejano Gold with Rudy Trevino.
Hell yeah, those are the top 3 songs in La Onda Tejana. Big shout out to the Outlaw Band holding on to that #1 spot this week. A band that really came out of nowhere, man. I hadn't heard about that band. The next thing you know,
Where are they from?
We got to get them on the show. I don't know. I don't know where they're from. But I'm looking forward to getting to know them. That's for sure, man. It's a good jam. So if you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Gibby Velasquez, Mr. Joe Posada, Grammy Award winning, both of them Grammy Award winners, and they were part of a band called the Royal Jesters. Tonight's a tribute to the Royal Jesters. We're kicking off Tejano Explosion 2026.
Yeah.
We're here with Mr. Chente Barrera and all his team from the Tejano Explosion. When you guys see Chente, you got to cheer him up, dude. He's kind of been, the rain has him like in a shaking like in a little funk, man. So go by, I don't know, give him a shot of tequila, something, dude. Right? Get him ready because he's jamming this week. He's going to be playing there too as well. Chente, can we have you come up? We even got you a mic, bro. Y'all make some noise for Mr. Chente Barrera.
We love you.
Chente, don't try it. Come around. I don't want you to step up here right here. It's kind of high. Welcome, sir. Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. How many of you guys have been going to Tejano Explosion for the last, say, 5 years? 10 years? Chente, how long has Tejano Explosion been around?
33 years.
33 years? All held there most of the time at Cattleman's?
It was at the old Cattleman Square. It was on Frio. It was called the Gran Jamaica at first. It was founded by Romeo Garcia and Jesse Diaz. And of course, Romeo has passed on. He passed a few years ago. But Jesse Diaz still kind of behind the scenes. You know, like Charlie's Angels. You never know who Charlie was. That's Jesse. You never see Jesse, but...
The Wizard of Oz. He's the guy behind the green curtain.
But yeah, and crazy thing happened. One year, band was supposed to play, and it ended up that they had a guy that was misrepresenting the band. And so Jesse called me and said, man, I don't know these guys, you do, so I need some help. And that's how I came into the picture.
Who was the band?
I can't say.
Oh, come on.
Wow,
man.
Chente, you're going to leave us hanging.
That's why
like
he
that?
called you up here, man. He's gonna...
Chente, they probably haven't been back in 33 years.
Huh?
They probably haven't been back to Explosion, that band.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were.
They made a lot of money, too. Anyway, but that's how I got involved. And then, you know, just always kind of been behind the scenes of a lot of shows. And I just enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I'm glad you're here because I'm going to ask you some questions. And these questions are because I didn't know this until I started doing what I'm doing now. And as a fan of the music, as a person who paid and went and sat in my chair and watched these for years, I want to ask you something. I want you guys to pay attention to this. So if Chente hires a band, say he hires Bumper Gomez y sus huevos rancheros, right? Look us out. We're going to be #1 next week on Rudy Trevino's Tejano Gold.
We can do a record, man.
We can do a record. Come see me, right? So you hire Bumper Gomez and the huevos rancheros. You hire them for Tejano Explosion on a Sunday. Sunday comes and it's raining. I can't play. But I've signed a contract with you to play on Sunday. Walk us through what happens or what usually happens with that.
It depends on the contract. It depends on the contract. Some bands come in and say, hey, rain or shine, we got to get paid. But there's other bands that say, you know what, if it rains, we'll work with you. We'll make it up, right? And there's just different scenarios for that question.
So when you say, let's go back, because I want people to see the stress that you're put under sometimes, right? So you guys are going to throw a party. You're going to have a band show up, right? Whatever, a backyard party. They want to get paid whether they play or not. Whether rain or shine, they want to get paid the same amount whether they played or not. Well, shit, you got to make money, right? I mean, most people got to make money in order to pay these bands. Chente, walk us through what happens.
Like I said, it depends. It just depends. I mean, honestly, and it depends on what the bands really want to do. There's been bands that have showed up and it's, you know, raining cats and dogs. And they're like, man, we still need to get paid. You know, no mercy. And we're like, okay, well, that's what the contract says. It is what it is. When you have an outdoor event, that's the risk you take.
So is there insurances? Insurances? Is there an insurance that you can purchase if you throw in
There's an insurance, but it kind of doesn't make sense because it could be flooded here at the beer depot, but we got to go off what the airport reports. If the airport says, no, it's, you know, 5, 6
So they
inches
go off
rain.
of one. They go off of one
Right.
area. Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors, man.
I'm sure I could bring up the owner. He's over there nodding his head like, yeah, you don't know who we got to deal with, right? Paying bands. But Chente, this is something you've done for a few years, you know, and we've talked about it when I've had you on the show. I love when you get into it because I like people to see another side of you. I like other people. I like the everyday public, the fans of Tejano music, to see what goes behind the stage, what it takes to run a festival, and the shit that can happen. Because shit happens, man.
Oh, yeah.
And here you're expecting to pay these thousands of dollars, is an unknown amount, usually a few $1,000s you got to pay, and you got nothing in return. You're just pretty much giving them free money.
Well, we've been very lucky that for many years, as Tejano Explosion has been in existence, the bands have always gotten paid. You know what I'm saying? And there's no band that can say, oh, well, we got burned and we went over there and they didn't pay us. That's never been the case in any situation. So they've always had a great reputation of paying the groups or working out something. We've been very fortunate that this past week, we lost 2 days because of the rain and the cold weather, and all the bands, every single band, we talked to them individually, and they all said, hey, let's work this out. What do we do? So, you know, Solido and Elsa were supposed to play on Sunday. Solido got moved to Thursday. Elsa got moved to Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Sencillo, they're playing tomorrow. They were always there. They never moved. But anyway, and then, of course, we had Ricky Naranjo, Garcia Brothers, Jaime de Anda, South Texas Homies. For Saturday, it was Conjunto Night. We moved it to this Sunday. All the bands were available, luckily, and we were able to work it out.
Wow, man.
So,
and it's supposed to be some beautiful weather. Who's going out to Tejano Explosion this weekend? I'm going to be there every day. I better see every single one of you at least one of the days, because I know for sure you got a free ticket tonight to go in there one of the nights. Starting tomorrow night, before I let you go, Chente, starting tomorrow night, we have Grupo Sólido, right? Sencillo, Secreto.
Don't tell nobody.
Okay, it's a secret. Grupo Secreto and the Conjunto Cats, no?
No. Zarpazo Norteño.
So no Conjunto Cats tomorrow.
Conjunto Cats will be on Friday.
On Friday, okay. So we have those bands Thursday. Friday, who do we got?
Friday, we got the Conjunto Cats, Ricardo Castellón and La Diferencia, Jay Perez, and Loca Pasión, a tribute to La Mafia.
Oh, okay. Got a happy table over here. I heard somebody yell, they love that Loca Pasión, tribute to La Mafia. And then Saturday?
Saturday, I came up with this crazy idea of having a Puro Taconazo party. So I'm going to kick it off at 3:30. It starts at 3:30, so you guys get there early. And it's, of course, myself with my band Taconazo, along with Raulito Navaira, Oscar G, Roel Martinez, and Bone Mauricio.
Damn.
That's one set. And then we keep going with Pio Treviño, Grupo Magic from Kingsville. And then it carries on with Mike Gonzalez and the Iconics.
Okay.
Right? A tribute to Jimmy G.
All right.
Y la primera dama de la música tejana, Elsa Garcia, is going to be with us. And closing out the night, the Pride of Pasadena, La Fiebre.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm not being silly. I'm being really for real. Which Fiebre?
The original Fiebre.
The original Fiebre?
They were supposed to play with us last year, and it got rained out. And so we told them, hey man, next year y'all come on out. And that was before that they split up in two. But Rudy and Joe and Jim Luna, and of course the new singer Abel Talamantes and Ray Talamantes, and those guys are coming to Tejano Explosion. Con favor de Dios, el Sabadito Alegre.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Mr. Chente Barrera and Tejano Explosion 2026. Chente, thank you. Before I let you go, man, I want to thank you on behalf of me and Eddie and all our Wacky Wednesday crew, man. Thank you for letting us be a part of Tejano Explosion. It means a lot to us. You know what I mean? I get to share the stage with two legends right here, man.
Of course, man. And that's what the thing is that we're all a big family, right? And all the Tejano brothers, sisters, whatever you want to call it. And we also want to thank, of course, Mark and Deanne for letting us have this here at the Beer Depot. Thank you, guys. We want to thank our friends from Cortez Hideout. All the sponsors that took place this year. It's been great, and we hope to see everybody at the Tejano Explosion.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Chente. Speaking of sponsors, we have a sponsor of Tejano Explosion here, but not only is he a sponsor of Tejano Explosion, He's a sponsor of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. How many of you guys know this guy, Mr. Rick Valderrama? He's right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, if you're looking to sell your house, refinance your house, anything to do with the house and money, this is the guy you got to, he's here, right here tonight. They had goodies. I think they walked around and give away some goodies. But Rick he's a phenomenal artist as well. Plays the horn as well, right? Plays the trumpet también. Part of La Patria. I mean, just a great guy. And we wanna thank Vantage Bank for being a part of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday and also Tejano Explosion. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to Henry Valderrama. And right now, we're going to give these guys a break. We're going to give you guys a break. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people who sponsor Bumpers Wacky Wednesday.
Pinners, San Antonio's premier men's clothing store. From suits to casual wear and accessories to our authentic Guayaberas, Pinners is known not only for our outstanding quality, but for our free expert custom tailoring to ensure you get the perfect fit every time. The experience of being fitted at Pinners is one of a kind. Come see why Pinners has been serving our customers for over 100 years. Located downtown on West Commerce with convenient free parking. Pinners, family owned since 1916.
Looking to purchase your dream home or what to sell your existing home? Call our friend Ricky Ray, the realtor, at 956-424-5724. He will help you get approved. No credit, low credit, no problem. So give him a call today at 956-424-5724.
Hey guys, it's Leo Correa with Grupo La Calma and Internet and Marketing Manager here at Ron Hoover RV and Marine Center in Odessa, Texas. Our General Manager, Mr. Anthony Patterson, a huge fan of Tejano music. So we are proud to announce that we are proud sponsors of the Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Every Wednesday, guys, if you know anyone, family member, friends that is in the market right now, make sure you come by and visit us here at Ron Hoover RV and Marine Center in Odessa, Texas. You can visit us online, www.ronhoover.com. If you're in the market for a fifth wheel, we have both C classes, A classes. We have travel trailers, everything that you need to make memories with your family. Come by over here. We're located at 1529 East 2nd Street. 1529 East 2nd Street here in Odessa, Texas, or give me a call. Our cell phone number is 210-906-3796. We're here for you guys, and come by and see why everyone's talking about Ron Hoover of Odessa, Texas, your West Texas. Yes, guys. Vámonos.
Are you a disabled veteran unsure if you're receiving all the benefits you deserve? Contact Just for Veterans, Coach Retired Sergeant Major United States Marine Corps, Oscar Ornelas at 951-388-4072. With a deep passion for serving veterans from all branches, he specializes in VA ratings to ensure you receive what you've earned for serving our nation. At Just for Veterans, getting your disability claim processed is now straightforward, thanks to our veteran design system. Don't delay. Book your consultation today with Oscar Ornelas at 951-388-4072. Remember to mention you've seen this ad on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Just for Veterans, if you don't win your claim, you don't owe us anything. Your benefits matter, and we're here to help.
Imagine a porch that protects itself, a door that locks on its own. Imagine being in two places at once, lights that work like magic. Imagine what you could do in a home like that. Now, stop imagining. Call Laura Hernandez at 210-262-8402 to start protecting your family and home with Vivint today.
Hello, everyone. Rick Valderrama, mortgage loan originator with Vantage Bank, mortgage NMLS ID number 428763. I'm here to share with you some information about an amazing program that we are offering in low to moderate income areas and high minority areas in the whole state of Texas. This program offers zero down, no private mortgage insurance, and credit scores as low as 580. All applications are subject to credit approval, reach out to me for more information.
I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you guys love enchiladas? No. San Antonio, do y'all love enchiladas? These guys are on a diet, that's why. Ladies and gentlemen, a big sponsor of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, a big part of Tejano music, Gilbert's Mexican Restaurant, 410 in Marbach. Right? You guys want to check them out. It's a Tejano staple. You got to stop by, check out all the memorabilia they have on the walls. But that's not the real reason you walk in those doors. Sit down and ask for the hobby special, 2 enchiladas with carne guisada on the inside, melted cheese, arroz, frijoles, with a sweet iced tea and some good old flour tortillas. What do you think, Joe? But check that out. If you're real hungry, they got a new one. Eddie, have you heard of the new one? Hopefully they didn't name it after me, Gibby. It's called the Big Back Special. The Big Back. Hey, that's a new word they're using for big people now. Big backs, right? But the Big Back Special, if you're really hungry, check it out right there. Gilbert's Mexican Restaurant, 410 in Marbach, proud sponsor of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Bumpers Wacky Wednesday is going on the road. We are going to be in Saginaw, Michigan for the 47th annual Cinco de Mayo Festival. They're going to have there in Saginaw, Michigan. Looking forward to going up there and seeing everybody in the Midwest. So we're going to be there Saturday during the day, there in Saginaw at the Fiesta. And then we're going to make our way to Toledo, Ohio, baby. We're going to be in Toledo, Ohio at the East Side Cantina for their Cinco de Mayo Festival. So I'll be down there in the Midwest. So everybody is from the Midwest. The fans of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, look forward to seeing everybody out there in Michigan and Ohio. Not this weekend, but the weekend following. Looking forward to seeing everybody over there. And then we come back Tuesday night, the place to be in San Antonio, Cowboys Dance Hall on Cinco de Mayo with the lovely, the beautiful Miss Alicia Villarreal, and of course, the man, Mr. Michael Salgado. For Cinco de Mayo, we look forward to seeing everybody out there at Cowboys Dance Hall. All right, we're back live. What? Oh, let's make some noise for the Beer Depot, baby. You know what? Before I start talking to these guys, I want to tell you guys, I will never forget when you guys had the original Beer Depot that was by the railroad tracks, right? I'll never forget that I saw a video. You guys are the ones that made the Tejano dancing popular before it was as popular as it is now. Thousands of people tune in on these lives just to watch people dance Tejano music. And it just blew my mind, but then I thought about it. How many ladies sit at home because their husbands are tired? They're not going to take them out. And that's their form of entertainment. They get to, it's like they're here, but they're not really here. They get to see it. But going back to my story, and if you're in here, I'm sorry. It's just something that always stuck in the back of my head. So I'm watching the live, Joe. I'm watching the live feed from the Beer Depot at the old spot, right? And it was packed in there. I mean, super packed. Well, all of a sudden, the camera, I don't know if it meant to zoom in, but I look in the back corner, and a lady comes in wearing pajama pants and fuzzy slippers. Her hair is not made. I know she didn't get dressed like that to come to the Beer Depot, right? But she shows up, and the camera is on her, and I'm thinking to myself, holy crap. This lady just saw her husband on live, or boyfriend, and she came to find out what he's doing here, right? So she said, forget getting dressed, I'm going as is. So she shows up, and she is just there, going back and forth, watching, waiting for him to show up. But I don't think he ever showed up. I think he was already gone. But that's just a vivid memory I have of one of those videos. But, shout out to the new Beer Depot. They've done a great job How many of you guys used to come here when it was Cooleros? Rick, you used to come here when it was Cooleros? All right. Well, I've never had a chance, but I'm going to tell you guys live, you guys have done a wonderful job with sprucing this place up, making it look great. Not only that, but promoting our Tejano music right here in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So, we're here with Joe Posada, Mr. Gibby Velasquez, two legendary artists. Joe, we were talking off the air. You were saying you guys are working on a brand new single?
Yeah, pretty much. We just finished it today, man. So we made a quick copy, and you know this. How do they say? Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the great thing about having a Tejano podcast. Is sometimes you get lucky enough to hear stuff before anybody has it, before any radio station, right? We get videos all the time debuting on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. So tonight, you guys want to debut Joe Posada's new single? Al, Josh, can y'all do that or no? Or you're going to get in trouble? Okay, Eddie, just be ready, Eddie, because we're playing music. Oh, you know what, dude? It's hot off the press. YouTube ain't got nothing on us.
Right.
Right? They can't cut us off because.
And this is Joe's song. He wrote the song, and I worked on the arrangement, and he just did the vocal like yesterday, and I was mixing it this afternoon. So, so there.
Joe, ¿cómo se llama la canción?
Atrévete.
Atrévate.
Atrévete means I dare you. So there you go.
And is it something that just was popped in your head?
I kind of dug that word, atrévete, and I kind of wrote it around that. And of course, it's got some personal meaning, but see what you guys think. If you like it, fine. Yeah,
all right.
Dedicate the song for our good friends from Round Rock.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, right here debuting Atrévate by Mr. Joe Posada on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday.
La vida es un suspiro, no la malgastes. Sabes que tú sientes lo que siento yo por ti. Eres la más bella de todas las estrellas. Gané la lotería cuando te conocí. Algo raro y mágico ha pasado. Mi corazón me dice que ya sabes, amor no te ha de faltar. Es por eso que he venido a implorarte. Abre tus alas y empecemos a volar. Atrévete, atrévete, atrévete. Atrévete a quedarte, atrévete a adorarme, atrévete a entregarte a mí. Vivir como si fuera el último instante. Si te atreves, yo me atrevo
te ha de faltar. Es por eso que he venido a implorarte. Abre tus alas y empecemos a volar. Atrévete, atrévete, atrévete. Atrévete a quedarte, atrévete a adorarme, atrévete a entregarte a mí. Vivir como si fuera el último instante. Si te atreves, yo me atrevo hasta la eternidad. Si te atreves, yo me atrevo hasta el final.
Oh, yeah, brand new single, and Mr. Joe Posada, Atrévate, right here debuting on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. So if you want to hear that song again, you're going to have to go back to the show and rewind it to this part because it's not out yet, right?
There you go.
So Joe, when can people look? When will that song be out? You know, for everybody to.
In about another week or so.
Okay.
So you definitely got a preview tonight.
Yeah, no, we got a preview, and you're gonna go back and they're gonna rewind it. That part right here that we played your song. Great song. You know, Joe, one of the things that I really love about you. I know it sounds kind of weird, but
No, it doesn't sound weird.
What I love about you, man, is the voice. How many of y'all love Joe Posada's voice? That it has this this little bit of raspiness in the back there that just it defines your voice, man. It really makes you stand out from other vocalists. You know, and we've been jamming you for years, bro. We've been jamming you for years, man. We're looking forward to continuing to jam to Mr. Joe Posada.
Hey, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that.
Gib, what do you got? What have you been working on besides this brand new single? Got anything in the?
I knew you were going to ask.
Anything cooking?
Well, Joe, there's a list there, and I need to write it down because when people ask me like you are right now, my mind goes blank. So I'm always juggling a handful of projects, and the one that stands out is Joe's because we've been working on it this week. Patsy Torres, I don't know, David Lee Rodriguez, a couple of bands from West Texas. I'm doing a project with these guys from San Francisco, a band called Bandido. It's like a Latin rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's something different. I do other stuff besides Tejano, Chicano music. So.
Right. Gib, I could be wrong, but was there a project that they did a few songs in your studio with Danny from Los Palominos?
He has a partner, and they created another label, and they were doing they're in the midst of doing an accordion project, showcasing different styles of accordion of South Texas, and that should be coming out real quick here.
But that was also done there at your studios as well.
I'm sorry?
That was done there with you at the studios.
Yeah, it's quite a production. They spent some time there and have a whole roster of different accordion players coming out.
And the reason I ask is I got a preview of a video and the song. I can't wait to hear it, man. I can't wait to hear it.
Some good stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Do we have any questions? I've never done this before, but is there anybody here that you've always wanted to ask Gibby or Joe Posada a question? Now's your chance. Right now on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, you got to be super loud or walk up to the stage, and I'll repeat your question for the people who are watching remotely. So the question is, what year did you each join the Royal Jesters?
It was 75, right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we joined at the same time, so it was 75.
51 years ago for some of you, just to.
It wasn't that long ago.
Say that, dude. 51 years ago, 1975.
It don't seem like it at all, man.
Anybody else? You have a question?
We're still doing this shit.
The best moves? Oh, who had the best moves out of the Royal Jesters?
Who had the best moves? I don't know, man.
Probably Little Henry, right?
Yeah, Henry.
Little Henry?
The leader of the band. You know, he always had his little thing. I don't know. He was Henry, but.
Yeah, Henry, he was out there, you know. Sometimes he would dress up real weird and stuff and just come up with all kinds of stuff, you know. I think I saw him dressed up as a ballerina one time. And no, he was quite a character. I mean, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Henry's still alive. He's still with us. But in his younger days, he was really out there. He was
quite the character.
Quite a character.
I want to say, I think I seen him. They brought him out one time, La 45 there at Jaime's place.
Yeah. Yeah, they was there.
I thought I saw him there. So I know he's still around. Anybody else? One more. We're going one more. Anybody else have a question? You got a question right here, sir? Oh, that's a great question.
The highlight of our
What? That's for both of you. What would be the highlight of y'all's career up to this day? Hey, you want a job, bro? That's a great question, dude.
Yeah, that is a great question. But you know what? I'm very blessed, and I've done a lot of stuff, dude. Playing and in the recording world over here, I really, yeah, I got to get to that book, man. You know, I was in Mexico City. I was recording a live album with this band, Alicia Villarreal, Límite. I recorded them live at the Foro Sol in Mexico City. And that place, there was 72,000 people there, man. And before the show started, I was in a truck in the back with a recording gear or whatever. And I walked out to the stage, the lights were off, and I said, God bless. Look at these people, man. And I thought about my friends here. My friends are in San Antonio. I'm out here doing this. You know, who would have thought, you know, I don't know. It was just gave me a great sense of accomplishment to have these Mexicans, right? They were all
Mexicanos.
Starstruck with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm just a guitar player from the barrio, man. That's what I do, man. In Monterrey, there was a club. I was recording Límite. After the recording session, we went to have some drinks there at a bar there. There was a band playing jazz. And the guys in the band, Límite, they knew the band. You know, when the band took a break, they came to the table, and the Kirri, the accordion player, he's introduced me to the guys in the band. And he's telling them, this is our engineer. This is the guy that's helping us out. And the guy in the band says, Oyes, tú eres el Gilbert Velasquez que tocó con Len Breed? And I said, yeah, it's me. Ah, chinga, they got all, this is the guy, the breaking the rules.
How did they do it? Give me.
But never mind. So the Kirri guy looks at me and says, you play guitar? Well, yeah, that's what I do, dude. That's how I got into this. He said, I didn't know that. So they just knew me as a kind of studio kind of thing there, man. But the guys in the band, the guy recognized from, this is the guy from Land Breed, man. They were all freaked out. Okay, Jimmy Edward, yeah. So that was, to me, like, wow, man, you're a few miles from home, man, and these guys know you, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I was on the beach, Santa Monica, California. I was doing stuff over there with Grammy people, blah, 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 blah. So I was taking a break, and I was sitting by myself on a bench, and somebody had a jam box, and they're playing Selena on the jam box. And it's like, hey, I recorded that, you know.
On the beach?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're so far from home, and you're hearing the music, man, and stuff like that, you know.
What did they tell you when you told them?
No, I didn't tell them anything. I was just saying, wow. Yeah. Another time, I took a break. We went to Acapulco, me and my wife. Get away from. So we were in the airport in Acapulco. It was late at night. We're walking through the airport there, and they're playing No Te Olvidaré on the
On the
He
speaker,
said,
the overhead, yeah.
I said, look at this. It follows me everywhere, man. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to drone on. But thank you. Great question. How about you, Joe?
Some highlights, Joe. What are some highlights?
Oh, there's been so many. Back in 89, 90, I hooked up with the Miller Genuine Draft. And I was part of this national campaign that they did. It was called the Miller Genuine Draft Band Network. And they had bands from all across the United States. And I was very fortunate to be one of those bands. And they had this party. They called it the greatest party in the history, right? Greatest party in history. And I was invited to perform. And we played the Astrodome. We played the Cotton Bowl. And we played that, I forgot the name of the stadium in San Francisco where the San Francisco 49ers used to play. And then we got to play this, we got to play on this yacht that went around Alcatraz and underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. And at the same time, with being part of that network, they sponsored this tour for us to do with the U.S. government during Hispanic Heritage Month that lasted about maybe 40 days. And it started off in Hawaii. It went to Korea, Guam, the Philippines, Okinawa. We wound up in Tokyo, and then we went back to Hawaii, and it was a celebrity tour. It was a real nice, lucrative tour, and that was a
playing for the troops, right?
Yeah, playing for all the troops, and that was really some fun times. And then fast forward to 2012, with the help of my friend here, Gilbert, I won my very first Grammy, and that was kind of a highlight of my career.
Heck yeah, man, a Grammy. You speak of Grammy, then you're sitting next to this guy over here.
Oh.
This Grammy Award winner.
Yeah, he uses them as door stops because he's got so many, you know.
Has anybody ever here had the privilege of going into Gibby's studio? All right, some of you guys have had, all right. If you ever have the privilege of going to Gibby's studio, it'll blow your mind how many Grammy Awards are literally just sitting. They're not just sitting around. He has them displayed. But it's just super awesome to see how many people you have touched with your art, whether it's playing a guitar, whether it's producing, whether it's being in their band. Like you've done a lot. Both of you have. And that's why I love doing what I do, man, because we get to highlight people like yourselves that have been doing this for so long. You know what I mean? And back in the day, we could only see you at a concert, and then you take a picture.
It hasn't been that long.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell you, this guy, you can't go. You can't take him nowhere. You can't take him nowhere. But where I'm going is like, you guys can. Now we can take pictures with you. You know what I mean? And then you kind of disappear. But now with social media and stuff, I love doing this because people get to see another side of you. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? For somebody to sit down with you for 30, 45 minutes, an hour and a half to talk to you about stories that you guys had on the road or just things that you've worked on. These are things that people would never know unless somebody sat and read they did a whole article on you and turned it into the paper. I mean, who reads the paper? I mean, I still do, but some people don't. You know what I mean? So I'm privileged and honored, man, to sit here with two legends like yourself and be able to share you guys, share your stories with the world. And again, tonight was really about the Royal Jesters. And the Royal Jesters, I don't want you guys to forget the very first doo-wop, Chicano doo-wop in all the United States. And they were able to evolve over all the years. And you got a little history of Chicano music turning into Tejano music, right? Because of an awards, Chicano music turned to Tejano music. Still the same music, just a different music. Just a different name.
Yeah. Different label.
But I think you guys, you said it earlier, Gibby. What an amazing experience it is for both you to be able to do what you guys love. Even right now, starting way back then and still being able to do it today, right?
Yeah, we're very blessed, man.
We're very fortunate. We're blessed. And first of all, I think we're doing it because we still love doing it. And it's in our hearts, it's in our DNA. And we'll do it till our last breath.
Gib, do you ever leave the studio at night, jump in your truck, start it, put your hands on the steering wheel, look at the front door of that studio and say, hey man, I think I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
He's done for
No,
the day.
not yet. Man,
He's done for the day.
yeah, done for the day. But
So you've never been
you know,
so...
the saying, you know, if you love what you do for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. So that's most definitely where I'm at, you know.
Yeah. And you know, years ago, I must have been in my 20s, and I talked to this man, and we were talking in the elevator. I was going up a building, and he asked me what I did, and I said, well, I'm a musician. And he said, you know, if you love what you do, the world will love you. And back then, I didn't understand what he was trying to say, but he was right. If you love what you do, the world will love you.
It's a good word. Hey, I like it. I like it. Put it on a t-shirt, Joel. Make some money, man. Make some money. Before we call it a night, I want to give a big shout out to our road crew, the guy who makes me look like $1 million all the time. He works really, really hard. He's the best producer when it comes to any kind of shows like this. I'll put him up against the best one. You name one, I'll put him up against them. You guys make some noise for my producer of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, Mr. Eddie Hernandez. And Wacky Wednesday, we got one roadie, sometimes two roadie. He's voluntold. No, he doesn't. He does it from the bottom of his heart. Make some noise for my son, Mr. Juan Gomez. We put him to work, Gib. So you need some stuff moved around the studio, let me know. I'll go take him to you. You move some stuff around. This is the part of the show, Joe, Gib. If you guys want to say any thank yous, any saludos, anything you want to do, the microphone is yours, sir.
Thank you for having it. This is the second time I do the show, but thank you, man. I look forward to having another little adventure with you, man. But
third time, Gib.
It's the third time.
Yeah.
We did it in my studio.
We did one in my studio.
Oh.
We did one in your studio.
Well, there you go,
and
man.
We did one here at the Beer Depot.
There you go, man. Do I get frequent flyer miles or something like that? No.
We got to get you a shirt that says three time.
Hey, so I want to say hey to my wife, Deborah. Her birthday's this week. And instead of coming here, she went to see Stevie Nicks in Austin. But it's all good. So, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
And we look forward to doing it again
For
at
sure,
some
Gib.
point.
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to thank all the fans for all the years of support. And I mean, I get people that come see me from all over the place. And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, the owners here at the new Beer Depot. Thank you very much for having us. A little shout out to my wife who's in El Paso, Texas this week. She's on tour.
Chuco Town.
Yeah. So yeah, she's in El Chuco.
El Chuco.
That's right. So anyway, shout out to her and thank you, Bumper,
Yes, sir. Yes,
for
sir.
having us. This is my second time on your show.
Yeah.
And I hope it's not the last.
No, for sure. We're going to get him one day. It's just going to be me, Joe, and a saxophone.
All right.
That's all we need. That's all we need. We're going to do a show like that, and it's good. It's going to do good things. It's going to do good things. But for both of you, man, I know I've said it probably 10 times tonight, but for me, man, what an honor. What an honor it is to share the stage with two Tejano legends as yourself. As a fan of Tejano music, I wish you guys nothing but continued success and everything that you guys touch, everything you guys do. We as fans look forward to hearing what's coming out of your studio, Gibby. And Joe, what you're singing, what you're playing, we look forward to that. You know, Tejano music ain't going anywhere.
Oh, no.
You know, contrary to what people say, it's alive and well. And I'm going to show you guys next weekend because I'm going to leave the general vicinity of San Antonio. We're going to go to another state, and I'm going to show you guys what Tejano music does outside the lines of the state of Texas. So we're looking forward to that. But gentlemen, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for you guys spending your Wednesday with us right here at the New Beer Depot. Thank you. Also want to give a shout out to DJ Bad Boy Al and Bad Boy Josh. Josh, one of the youngest DJs in La Onda Tejana. He's been spinning out there at the Tejano Explosion for a few years now, man. So they're doing a great job keeping the crowd pumped up and keeping us dancing. I'm sure they're going to keep you guys dancing here when we wrap up the show. And before we call it a night, I want to thank you guys, everybody here in attendance. Thank you guys for being here, hanging out with us. Our very first show right here at the New Beer Depot, and it won't be our last. If we can make it work, it will not be our last. I like it here. It sounds good. It looks good. It's pretty cool. And they got a thing to get you dizzy. The Beer Depot sign just keeps spinning there right now. To everybody who traveled outside of San Antonio, I got my man Iron Man right here. He's been to a few of my shows. He does great things. Always supporting Tejano music. Follow him on YouTube. I don't know, who am I missing? Make sure you follow Al and Josh. CC Jammer's in the house. Another legendary DJ from the big city of Corpus Christi, Texas. The 361. Hey, I haven't seen y'all in a long time. How y'all doing? All right, and again, to Rick Valderrama, sponsor, Vantage Bank of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Don't forget, if you want to finance your house, refinance your house, you're looking to buy a home, and let's be honest, man. These are not things that we're taught, right? I know I wasn't taught how to buy a home. My parents rented my whole life. I didn't even know what an escrow was, right? I thought something was growing. I don't know what an escrow was. But if you're like that, don't be scared. Come see Rick. He will break it down for you. He'll let you know, hey, man, I can do something with you. There's people in here that I know right now that are in here right now. He made their dream come true of owning a home when they thought that they could never, ever own a home. He made it happen. So come by and talk to my good friend, Mr. Rick Valderrama, and all his people from Vantage Bank. Thank you, guys. Again, to all our sponsors, man, of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, Chente, thank you so much. Everybody, Tejano Explosion 2026. We look forward to seeing you guys all week, starting tomorrow to Sunday. Hey, let's bust out the cobwebs, put on the off, porque you know there's going to be chingo de mosquitoes now, right? Bring your off, bring your chairs. Be ready to rock and roll starting tomorrow downtown, Tejano Explosion 2026. On behalf of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, Bumper, Eddie, thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next week.